Well, it's all right now because it's anything you do.
I don't always like videos, but when I do, I always prefer Road Dog Crypto. Trade wisely, my friends.
Gary was a man who thought he could do crypto, sharing at the SEC.
You like what you see. Well then, please subscribe only. And if you like what I do, then smash that like button too.
Are you trying to find financial freedom by trading and investing in them there cryptocurrencies? But are you having a hard time being profitable and making them winning trades? Well, you can get all that knowledge and a whole lot more just by watching the Crypto Chart School playlist over here at the Road Dog Crypto channel. You just go right down here where it says Chart School, you click that full playlist, and voila! They got all the knowledge right there.
What are you doing, Sean?
They said they wanted cowbell.
No, he doesn't like you to play with the cowbell.
Yeah, but you got to give the audience what they want, though. You know, can't argue with that. That's the first rule of show business right there. The cowbell calling. Ring-a-ding-a-ding-dong. Destiny 1, 2. How'd that do? That go through? One more time. Testing 1, 2. You suck, Habib.
Did it go through?
Cool.
This one worked.
Check.
There's only 2 boxes on this clipboard: microphone and sit down and shut up. That's only 2 boxes you got to check.
That last one's the hardest one to check, though.
Whenever you're lonely, just pick up the
Ladies and gentlemen,
and call me.
welcome to the Chart School here at the Road Dog Crypto Show.
Girl, let me show you.
While we're waiting for our fine fellows friend to come in here.
I told you, I'll be there.
I just wanted to snatch another peanut butter and jelly sandwich with bacon on it. Oh, here you go, babe.
I'll be there. Your heartache, it kills
Check
me,
1, 2.
but
I already
your
did that.
loving, it thrills me.
Ready?
I'll be there. Whatever tomorrow may hold, I know.
Oh, snuck that one in on you. Is it dark in here? Is it dark in here? Is it okay? Everything's all right? Okay. Clap your hands. Welcome everyone to Chart School. Hey man, we had a stream earlier today. We got Chart School going on tonight. This is number 12. Not 2, but 12. So that means after 11, there was one more. and you thought 11 was the number one. All right, so tonight we're going to be going over, as requested, Market Cipher. It's this little indicator. Well, this isn't exactly Market Cipher. Now, it looks a lot like it, right? Almost identical, like almost to the T, because it's almost like a clone copy or whatever. But I mean, you have the option to go get Market Cipher at marketciphertrading.com. I don't have a thing to do with it. The preferred best value 81% of members choose is $1,500 for a lifetime subscription. Or you get the professional version where you pay once a year every $600. Or you can, if you use TradingView, just go up here to indicators and type in VMC. You got more, and it's called VMC Cipher B plus divergences. Oh snap! And I just did that again. Oh, no, don't do that. I don't need two of them. Come on now. Come on, bro. Don't do it to me. Stop it now. Okay, I think we're okay. VMC, and I put it. You put the little star by it, and then you can put it over here. VMC Cipher B divergences. Totally free. The differences between them are so slight that you would not. The only thing that I can tell is just how far that this goes and how deep this goes compared to the others. Other than that, I'm like, that's like, wow. It's cheap too. It's like, as in free. The whole purpose, I don't know if you know this, the whole reason that this came about, our Crypto Face said, he's the one that came out with the Market Cipher one, the paid one, right? And it was because TradingView, for the free account, you can only have, or at the time, it may even be worse now or less now, 5 indicators. That's all you can have. It's like, well, I want to get an indicator that's got them all. So this is like 5 indicators squeezed into one indicator. And so if you approach it from that aspect, you're like, oh, okay, that's what all that glob, because it looks like a video that I made earlier describes it as like a astropop melting on a hot asphalt highway. Just because that's what it looks like. It's just all smeared and everything, right? But it's actually several different indicators there. It is pretty cool, and it's kind of intuitive in a way, and you can get to where you can just kind of glance at it and you can get a feel for what's going on, rather than this indicator is at here, this one's here, this one's doing this, and this one over here. Okay, this you can kind of see them all together. So I want to kind of break this down for you guys. Before I get too carried away here, as we go 8 minutes into the chat. Hey, that's good. I got it 8 minutes in. Come over here and say hello to everybody tonight. And I see we got Soul. How's it going, Soul? Board PC Guy. I see Sin. Chris Klein. Bloke His Angels. Glittery Marshmallow. Chris Klein. Turn it up to 11. Hey, dog. Love your show. Oh, I would love that. There's no clapping hands. I'm on a different screen. This one's convoluted. Oh, there they are though. I love it. Comment. Turn it up to 11. So we got a microphone, everything's cool. So we're cool to proceed, I guess, with Market Cipher here, because it is a really cool indicator, or VMC, whichever version that you want to go with, the expensive one or the free one. I went with the free one. Now I tweaked mine a little bit, and you can do that up in the settings when you click this little thing over here. Don't click the crash can. I've done that before a time or two. But this is where you get really familiar. You don't need to mess with all this. You don't have to change any numbers or anything. But if you want to change colors or something like that, this is where you go to do it. And then you got to learn, oh, well, what the hell is all this? And you kind of click it and see what appears and disappears, and you kind of figure that out. Do I need that? Do I need that? You know, kind of leave things alone as best as you can. But well, I changed the stochastics, and I'm trying to find, where did I go with it? And then you can choose divergence, the little lines, the colors of the lines, and I had to do that. These are little divergence lines to help you see divergence, mostly on the wave tables. You can do it on the stochastics and things like that too. Then it gets kind of messy. This is a lot of things squished into a little bit of space here, so it can get messier. You can make it that way. But I was trying to find the wave table, I can't call them wave table. Why did I do that? I think it's because it's WT, but that's where, you know, the outer edges of them, it's really, you know, what it looks like, the outer edges, and then the frontal part. those little things and how they overlap. That's really all that is. You can change the colors of it and all that. And on the stochastics, and it's more like a ribbon. There is also the stochastics, the regular RSI over here, and that would be over here on the inputs, I believe. And you get to turn them on or off. And I take mine off because I can't do what I normally do. I'm used to the regular RSI, and so when I need to see that it's on the bottom, and I can't tell very much if it's got on a midline, so it doesn't do me very much good here. And then that gets to be, that's a lot to look at for me. And so I have my own, where you go. So I keep my own separate RSI because I like to get nitty gritty with RSI sometimes, and I'm going to be where it's at down here and what it's doing over here, and you know, if it's breaking certain trend lines or doing certain things over here, you know, it's harder for me to do on Market Cipher. So I take that one off just to get all the stuff, but it does have some cool features. When it's red, that means, oh, you're in the overbought territory, or and when it's green, you're in the undersold, and that's cool because actually that works pretty good right here. Because I do like one strategy that I do use, and this is not a Market Cipher thing, but in this case it can be if you're using both of them together, and you can get used to how this RSI works. And I mentioned this once before, but this is especially on bigger time frames. I mean, you can use this on the weekly to nail bottoms, and use it, and on the daily even to nail some bottoms. And that is where, if you see, it's green. That little line, this little purple line turned green. All right, can we see that? Is that big enough? I forget, I'm on a smaller screen for most of you guys here. So this little line here, this purple line turns green. And also this thing, this green and purple ribbon, I like it like that. It's also at a bottom. So if I was on my regular RSI, we would see this at a bottom, just like this, and this one at a bottom. And when both of those are down, that is usually the bottom. That is was probably one of the best opportune times to start buying. And so I'm going to mark that just to prove that point. And you'll probably hear me mention this again at some other time, the stochastic and the RSI strategy. I've got a video from way back, but nobody ever watched it. Now that's going to be a bottom. Let's do one that's going to be a high, what that would look for. And that would be where the stochastics, this purple line would turn red, and that's what's so cool about this one. It'll help you figure out when all that stuff is, right? And it's red, and you can find the peak of it, and then the stochastics RSI is also peaked out up there, right? So we're going to mark that one as a high. Now, if we go to our chart, we should see that this was like the peak, or really close to the peak. Close enough that, hey man, I want to pay attention to this idea. I'm on a 3-minute chart though. Oh my god, I'm on a 3-minute chart. Anyway, well, we'll try it on the 3-minute. I thought I was doing this on a much bigger time frame, but okay, we'll use the 3-minute as an example, and then this one will be, make this green. We'll make this red because you would want to sell the top. That's how I look at it, and you would want to buy green by the bottom. We'll see how it did. How did it do for that? Not bad. We didn't look back over here, but we can. Or even over here, we didn't go back far over to those areas, but it did pretty good for that, right? So that's pretty much nailing the top, and did a really good job. I think it was actually the next, was it the next? No, that was that candle. It actually hit low on that, on the 3-minute, and it's like that on the bigger time frames too. I don't know why I got weird about it here, but I did think I was on a bigger time frame. Just because I get more of a mix of things, I guess. But that is noteworthy, and that's a good. It works really good on the weekly. So you're trying to find out. Let's just go to the weekly. And maybe I should keep. Maybe I should keep you on my Market Cipher, because it's hard for me to see it for some reason, to put them together the way that I got it structured right now. Let's check out weeklies. So here, and we'll take this one for these two we just put on there. Oh, are you topping out too? me take my hair off. You getting red on us? But the stochastics ain't topped out. Here's something. This one's interesting. Now, this one doesn't go all the way. I want to see what it did there. That looks interesting. We will get back to Market Cipher. I promise. Well, this one looks good. Well, I guess we're finding. What about bottoms? Give us some bottoms. It's harder to find. There's nothing that's here in the green, so you would have to line up, one of the lows here. So unfortunately, those are not in the green. The low here, stochastics, right before it went off, and the low there. So what I'm bitching about is that when she gets hot, she turns red, right? And when she's getting really in the overbought territory, and when she gets green, there we go. Here we go. This is what you want to look for, and this is like at the probably June 20. Yeah, this is at the bear market. So here, like at the very bottom of the bear market, we can see stochastics bottom down here, and we were in the green, so it was right in this period. We're doing that Monday morning, Friday evening quarterbacking kind of thing. But that one here was one right here, stochastics all the way buried, and it did turn green there. The green just means it's below 30 on the regular RSI. And if we mark that little guy right there, boom. Here was another dip on stochastics, but we didn't get that big of a dip there. I mean, that was good, and that's basically what we're looking at with these dotted ones. But let's go to price action and see what these green ones look like. Where did you nail it? Over here, and then FTX and all that stuff happened. No, that was here. So, there was one that was good, and it got a rise, but it didn't come down lower. That was the best one. That was the last one there. These are red. Those should be sell points, tops for the week, and if you did, I guess you'd save you. It depends on how you look at that. I don't know if I missed it or not. It's still right up. You suck. You'd be arguing with yourself if you did it. But overall, it looks pretty good. So there and here, bought here. That one was a green one. The sold here. Well, definitely if you weeks and weeks and weeks later. Unlocks it. Oh, now I gotta erase it all. Oh no, well that'll be easy. There we go. So, well, go back here, baby. Where'd you go? Man, try to run off with me like that. What's up with you? All right, so we'll come back to this. Let me get rid of these little arrows over here. So this is what Market Cipher looks like, whatever time frame you want to get on and however far you want to stretch her out. She looks like this. And let's just narrow it down. What are we looking at with Market Cipher? A very good indicator, many indicators. Let me get these lines off of here. All right, so, well, first things first, what are we looking at? Right here in the middle, you see where we go red line, green line. There's just like this little line there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw one in there just so we can pretend a little bit better. That's a zero line. Mine would be on zero, but I can't get it on zero. But I'm calling it a zero line. Just go with me. That's left and low. I'm going with negative 0.18. That's my zero line. Up here, we got to measure up, and it gives us this little, we got our little scale over here on the right. Scale it up here a little bit. Get it all nice and neat. We go up here to 100, draw a line over there. Well, we got a scale from 0 to 100 on this side. Well, it's got a mirror image down here all the way down to a negative 100. Go figure that. These are the trees. This is the pond on the lake. This is the lake, the mountains on the lake on the pond. This is the zero line. So that means, well, for what we're talking about, stochastics RSI, the regular RSI, relative strength index indicator part, they're going to bounce off of this guy. This is as low as they can go, between 0 and 100, 0 and 100. The other stuff is kind of unique because it can go on both sides of the line. So then the line for it is neutral territory, whereas for the RSI and stochastics, that line is zero. That's ground. That's bottom. So once we get that out of the way, it kind of makes it a little bit more simple. Now we got to figure out what are the globs of things here. Well, the blueberry flavor is the momentum. That's the momentum wave. And it's kind of cool. It's got two parts to it, so it looks 3D and everything. So really really cool. Makes it a lot easier to kind of look and see what's going to happen. She starts getting like this little, starts looking like a shark fin or something. And that's cool. And or an iceberg, or however you want to look at it. Color yours as you will. But she'll curve around, and then she'll get like this little knife blade thing a lot of times, and you'll see one of those, the little gray one kind of disappear, and then the other one will come up, and then you see these little green dots happen, and those green dots are technically a buy signal. It doesn't mean you never take any indicators buy signal as I'm going in now. Now bots do, because they don't have much. Well, they do. They do the same thing that you need to do. Take that into consideration with some other indicators as guardrails to keep them from just I'm going in just because of the green dot. Because the bot designers realize that kind of sucks. I don't like that. That doesn't work too good. So you had to layer in some parameters for your bots. Well, let's also make sure that our stochastic RSI is beneath a certain level. Is that what's happening when that dot prints? And if it's not, then it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to jump in on that. And those kind of things is when it comes to bots is how we would set them. Anyway, cruising on. It's technically a buy signal right there. Now you might hear about the green dot, the BitBoy dot. They got kind of confused. Now a lot of people are calling that the BitBoy dot now, but really that dot that they were talking about was this one. It's this one underneath like this red line here, which is also money flow. We'll get into that. There's a little green dot. Now what that means is divergence. And when you got two of them together, like here, especially if they're two big ones like that, two big things of divergence, it's like a 1-2 punch. It's snake eyes is what CryptoFace called it back in the day. And so you look for those, and you should also have some of these. That's very good to make sure you got. It's kind of pointless unless you have one of those too. You like they come in all little snug little bundle right there. And that's usually one of the best times to enter is right through here. So I'm going to go with the one that actually has the dot and the little dot. And we might see some action over here on the early. Let's do them both. What happened on price action right there? What could we say happened right there? When we bottomed the freak outs, what happened here on the daily? On the daily, ding dong. That's what happened. Now that's pretty cool, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? Well, Road Dogg, why don't you look at all that more often? I do look at it. Sometimes maybe I'm looking at too much. It makes it look so simple in hindsight. That's part of the magic too. Everything always looks better in hindsight. I am going to switch scenes here.
For those of you that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Fireworks! Ooh! UFO! Ooh! That's cool. Hey! Oh yeah, we're doing. Hey, how's it going? We came over here so we could see a little bit better because I felt a little cramped in the little lounge over there. And that creepy clown's hiding around the corner, peeping out. It's like, oh, I want to come out. Let me come out. I'm like, no, dude. Take the nut off, man. Go play with your chainsaws. And so that's pretty cool. Raw, wouldn't you say that's pretty cool with the little dots and the divergence? So that's something to write down and pay attention to. There's a other thing, and this would probably qualify. Yeah, I guess technically, yeah, it would. Could you call that one too? I'm trying to look for any other examples, and that might qualify. This one, that looks like that's a good setup. Yeah, okay. Let's go with this one first. That's on a downward climb, though. I know there's bear market territory there. Oh, no, maybe not. Okay, we'll use it anyway. We'll use it anyway. All right, so what the hell's he talking about? So there's this one strategy, especially on the bigger time, which works on any time frame, but especially, and it is called the hammer and triggers. And you hear around people with market cipher, you might hear this hammer and trigger wave, or there's a trigger wave, or this is going to be a trigger wave. And what that means is that it's got a base. It forms a base earlier, and then it comes down and it does a smaller one of these little guys. And so it looks like in CryptoFace, and back then in the day, they were afraid to say can you do that? You can say handguns, right? That's what they were talking about. Or yeah, I like squirt bottle. Yeah, hey, that would have did it, right? Squirt bottle. There's the handle or the base, or there's the bottle. There's the trigger. We squeeze the trigger. But the trigger is supposed to be the gorgeous place to get in on that trade, man. So you see that little guy. Was it? That was I was looking at the last cycle here. No, that was actually back in January. Saying, boom, baby, let's go. Now, MACD, since we got all these lines, look like they're intersecting there. I didn't know you'd do that. MACD is also giving some signals there. You kind of have to front run her, but she also, on this daily thing, also gives signals. You can kind of compare that to what you'd get from another indicator, just saying. She's a little bit of a lagging indicator, and all the indicators are, except for... I'm not going to complete that sentence. Most of them are lagging. The only one that's not really is volume. All right, so what other things could we talk about that we look for when we're here at this channel? Other things, other than what we see on the indicators, because we just went over indicator. We'll continue with the indicators, but let's mix it in with what we'd see on the chart too, right? Well, if we do trend line theory, we have this when we're looking. Oh, that sucks, man. You're underneath the trend line. That sucks. And maybe you got ballsy and said, "Well, I'm going to play this one." Okay. Well, if you break out, it's a little lackluster there, getting above the 9. Yeah, basically, degen. Anyway, let's just go by your standard breakout here. Got above the non-moving average, maybe degen in above it, maybe it didn't. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work for you. How'd that work? But you get your candle above it and go in. It also right at this area. So looking and seeing that you're front running a breakout, especially if you were this guy over here. Yeah, I'm talking to you, degen. Well, there is a breakout there. Oh, look, there's a green dot. Look, MACD pinning a pink candle. It's a pink candle. She looks like she's getting ready to flip over. Let's front run this little son of a gun. And you couldn't do that. I do that a lot of times, to be honest with you. All right. I started getting a lot of little indicators there. And that's on the daily. So the beauty is you see some idea like this on the daily, and you'd probably have to see it before it ever got the green dot. You might get the green dot on a smaller time frame. The 12 hour. Very similar, just a little quicker. That's half the fun. What the hell is he talking about? You also got the green dot on this one. Oh no, market Cipher. But we were talking about the trigger wave thing. You also got that's pushing it a little bit, but I'm sure people would too. They call cup and handles and everything. I'm sure they call that a trigger wave if it happens to be above it. Usually you're looking for a little small wave, and I think the smaller the kind of better. And maybe back here, let's go back over here. There was another one. Well, no, this is a big ass one. Did we mark this one too? So that would have been, yeah, we talked about that, right? When we were at 74,000, the world was scared. I was scared. We were all scared. Oh my God, we're going to die. Oh, and here comes Crypto Face with the long. Why? That looks good, y'all. Look at Bitcoin right there. On the daily, pushing up above that thing on the daily. Look at you go. Market Cipher, what do you say? Why does all this stuff look different all of a sudden? I drew lines on it. All right. So let me take some of these lines off. So you can you guys kind of see how just those aspects, we haven't even got into what these integrated parts are yet. We're going to do that next. But those are kind of some cool little secrets. The little dots for divergence. When you see the little green dots that are beneath this, pretty good. It's something to pay attention to. You're more likely to see a reaction that maybe something. This red line is money flow. Same thing as this right here. It's just you got it in two different places, so you can glance at it and say, "Oh, are we green or red?" If you want to know if we're green or red, you can just look at this one. You have the option to take that on or off if you want, and take all this on or off if you want. Dismantle it, regurgitate it, whatever you want to do. Recolorize it. You can customize it if you like, and you see a lot of people do that. But when money flow is basically the strongest indicator on this, or the strongest indicator of all of money here. The most important feature for market Cipher. CryptoFace feels that way, and I agree with him on that. And because that's when the money's coming in and out of the market, and when the money's coming in, the prices go up. Any bearish activity that happens, your corrections, your pullbacks, and all that, they're not as scary. They're not as bad. They don't go down as far. They don't pull back as much, say, as over here. For instance, like your Fibonacci's when we're deep in money flow, we're pulling back more to like 382.5s when we're moving up, right? Back here when money flows in the red, we're looking 786, 618. Yeah, we're looking a little deeper through there on the norm, and then that's what we're looking at. And so money flow, it ebbs and flows, goes up and comes down, and does its little wave thing. And it can last a little while, like over here. Oh, it's going, and when it turns green, you're expecting something big like this, right? But you end up just getting sucks. So that's one thing that helps using bigger time frames and different time frames to help you navigate stuff like that. Just a little kind of zoom out. Looks different. That looks way different. Here we are on the monthly. And if you do time frame analysis, you need to start from the higher time frames and go down. Wherever you choose, the highest the better, just to get a feel. And do it for candle price actions, and also indicator movements too. So let's talk about well, let me come over to you guys first. You might have some questions or something. Woot, I think I made it back. Hey, board PC guy. Goody Marshmallow says, good going. I forgot to press the live button. Don't make my mistake. Time for school. Okay, so we have no questions about this. Okay, we will continue. All right, so let's get into what actually we got here. Remember, we had a scale from 0 to 100 on the positive side. And then we got this little negative side here, 0 to negative 100. And so the money flow, and then the blue stuff, the momentum wave is what that is. It's supposed to be the momentum. You can probably get more specific on it, but I'm not. And it's a good indicator. You can definitely use that one a lot to see the strength of how deep we're going down and everything. So green turns to red, and then the other one you got is this yellow thing. Now that's where it gets a little confusing, because the indicator says it's VWAP, which is volume weighted average price, and usually VWAP looks almost like a moving average. So the typical VWAP and how it's presented is different from what when you typically have one and talk about one, than being on something that oscillates over a zero line, because these are oscillators. That's what they're doing. They're going above and over the zero line, just like sound waves and all that good kind of stuff. Just like our market cycles, just like Tesla said, everything travels in waves. Is that DNA? What the hell? Anyway, I got off in left field there. Got to reel myself back in. So they're oscillating on both sides, in positive sides, negative sides. But the VWAP, that's the yellow one. When she goes above zero, good. And when she starts tilting down, not so good. Same thing with them all. When they're above zero, good. When they're topping out, oh, okay, well, let's see what happens. Maybe go more. Go. Oh, we're declining. Oh, declining. Why? We got to watch out. Anything else declining? Is this becoming a thing? It looks like it's becoming a thing. We're declining. Price is probably declining too. With declining. Oh, are we crossing? We're approaching the zero. Oh, snap. Cross our fingers. Hope we bounce. If not, this could get nasty. We're at zero for any of them. Like, oh, we got declining price. Oh no, and VWAP. And VWAP's going down. That can't be good. That can't be good. What happened? And then stochastics, of course, you wouldn't see it at the very time it's playing out. You have to take this moment by moment in the moment, right? But as it's playing out, if you saw these, you wouldn't see anything till about right as it's starting to happen. I can't get on either. We'll get right before it happens, okay? We'll draw a line just right before it happens and right after it. Let's get them both just to keep ourselves honest here. I got two little lines that now I can't see. Right when you could see some decline, but we're on the monthly candle, by the way. The way to kind of look at smaller time frames, but we'll get to that. But we're just going to go by this one here. What was price doing at that point in time? Oh my gosh, was that a top? That was when it was topping out, right between those two months, right? These two monthly candles right there. That was the top according to this indicator on this time frame. That red dot would definitely bad. That green would probably fool you, but thinking, wow, that works if we go and did. There's a red dot over here. Now, just like that we have the green dots below, we got red dots on the top, right? Well, if it's snake eyes down here, I don't know what you call this, demon eyes, I don't know. There's two red eyes staring at you. Ewoks. You got the Ewok eyes over here that are, you got to take the lines off. You can see the Ewok eyes. You're going to see one Ewok eye. The other one's kind of, I think he's wearing an eye patch. There's a little bitty one right here. And then a bigger one. That's going to be your bearish divergence. And you can set up, like I said, divergence on your indicators too. And then when the lines, like the stochastics and the RSI, which I'm getting ready to take that RSI off. If there's showing a divergence between it and price too, they'll draw a little line. You can set it up to do that, but it gets to be kind of a lot to see. But here I put it on the wave table, so I do have a red line going on the wave tables, on the momentum waves, and they're going down. So price must be going up at this point, and it's going down. So it's notifying, hey man, you got divergence going on. And then this red dot is also saying, hey man, you got some bearish divergence going on. It's a warning signal. You might want to take a look at selling or doing something. It's technically a sell signal, but when you get a sell signal, that's what you need to hear. It's like, hey man, your house might be on fire. Hey, go check it out. And you go look, okay? You don't just say, okay, oh, we got. You just don't go running out and leave the baby in there and say, oh, I hope you do all right. Jeez, that was horrible. Anyway, let's go over here. I don't trust no algos, I ain't got no profits. Okay, so we went over the little VWAP. We went over money flow. That's the green. And money flow is also down here. Green goes to red. So if you just say, oh, is the money flow green or red? Like if we fall down, is it going to hurt? Are we in the red? Money flow, is it going to hurt bad? Can we break some bones if we fall? Or is there some cushion down there with that green if we fall? Yeah, okay, we might be able to make that one. Okay, don't want to do it too often. Still get hurt, but hey, if we take a fall, it may not be too bad. So that's kind of how to interpret, in layman's term and lay turkey's term, market cipher as a general whole. We went over the blue, we went over the green and red, we went over the yellow, we went over the RSI, which is now coming off because you annoy me. You annoy me. Start with the RSI. Let's not and say we did. Okay, there we go. And then I want to take off my imaginary lines because they don't really belong there. Clean up my little lines over here. Clean up my little lines over here. So stochastics, I think we've been over that before. Now technically on stochastics and the RSI, they're a little bit different. But we have been over that before. We'll go over it again. We just talked about that range from 0 to 100. With the stochastics, anytime it gets above 80, it's considered to be oversold. So that means, hey man, people about sold, they're trying to sell out of this, man. They're trying to make us their liquidity, man. We get up in this area, that's scary, man. Why is my horizontal lines not working, man? There we go. You gotta find it. So we start getting up into this territory, it gets a little cautious. Now the rule of thumb is that your sell signal is when it crosses over that line. Now look, it gave us two fake outs right there. Well, that's interesting. I want to look at those fake outs. since we're marking them. Let's get these guys off of here because they're going to confuse me. I want to copy you and drag you over here because I'm too lazy to press Control C. I'll only press Control and click. That's how lazy I am. And then we're going to come up and take a look at what we were looking for. Oh my gosh. Where's they faked us out? Look, oh my God, you're coming down. Sell it, sell it. They're going to smash down. Some people will look at it that way when you break that 80. All stochastics are coming down. That's over. It's a wrap. And some people get very confident about that, and it would at that moment in time, even though we're on the monthly candle, we're using it, or monthly thing, we're using it as an example. Even though at the moment in that time, right, until you get the next little candle, you don't know what's going up. You just see VWAP's coming down. The only thing that could give you a hint, and you kind of think, well, there's a little hint of wine over there, so it looks like that's rolling over. You see the momentum wave might be rolling over. That would be hard to see. That would be, or it wouldn't by the time you get over here. And but the only thing that would maybe give you a hint would be the little bit of money flow in the green, showing up there and then down here, right through that. Maybe it won't be as bad, maybe. But that was a beautiful little fake out right there. And with stochastics, that was that would have that's a sell signal. Or when that happens, you need a sale. So a lot of people might have sold right then, and then boom. What happened after it went up? And then over here, sell signal, stochastics. We're below the non-moving average, man. That's probably what I would have been. What are we? We weren't really on this whole candle, but at some point we might have been under it. So let's scare. We would have been doing that. And then they came Pump City. So we're going over some of the little signs to look for fake outs, for things where things pivot. Because that's the best places to try to get. As close to the tops and bottoms as you can get, and you can do well is looking on the bigger time frames and going from top to down. Very effective. And we've been on the monthly, and going to something like the 3 days. So, and I like it. You can get a feel for what's going on in the monthly, and we look pretty good, right? Stochastics are headed up on the monthly. The momentum wave looks like it's starting to head up. We look like we're pretty deep. It's better than we're not down. Stochastics aren't leveled out. We don't see any more downward pressure. We see more upward pressure. And usually when stochastics are on their way up, they're going between 0 and 100. So we're trying to get close to 100 as we can. So it's starting to look good. She can have some wiggle on the way. But so far, money flow being in the green is telling us monthly for Bitcoin, just looking okay on Market Cipher. So we come down maybe to a 2-week. How's that looking? That looking pretty good. You got the green dot right there. Oh my gosh. Well, you got a buy signal on the 2-week here on Market Cipher. There's my arrows. I knew there was hanging around somewhere. There's another one. Is that another one? You're back there somewhere. I know you are. Come on out. I think he's going to be stuck there forever. You're stuck. I can't get you out. You're behind the indicator. You're in the matrix. So what I don't like about this, and it didn't used to do this, but my ribbon, when it gets with these wave things, maybe it's an order that I've got them in or something like that. Maybe that's what it is. I got to look at that. But they start fading out here, and I don't like that. They used to be a solid band. It may have been something I did. You may not experience that. Oh, goodness. But anyway, the important message I would take away from this is there's a green dot right here. That's good. That means this guy's turning around. It's a little hard to see behind the green. You can click it off and remove it, but I'm too lazy to do that. But I'll draw it out for you. She's turning. You can't draw on these things. Yeah, it wants to, like an Etch-a-Sketch. It wants to do its own little thing there. That sucks. And so stochastics are cricking in their way up there, and so is our little nice yellow VWAP. That's what it says it is, so I'm taking it that's what it is. VWAP going above the 0 on this indicator. Whatever it is, this measure, supposed to be volume weighted average price, is increasing. We're going from the negative area. Shame on you, you talk bad about me, to the positive area. You look beautiful today. So we're getting into positive territory, and we like it, and that makes us all feel better, and number go up, and life is good, and hope we bought enough at the bottoms, or had to figure out a way to short the tops, wherever that might be. Probably where there's a red dot, probably a line or two, bearish divergence. That would be some good things to look for them tops. Just saying. Big old mountainous wave table. And it might even be, you can chart these guys too. They have trend lines they follow too, man. Next one that comes up, wherever it goes, this may be as high as it gets at 73%. Just saying. As it makes this bearish divergence, this price is going up and this is coming down. That's the perfect setup for it to come down, actually. So we're on the 2 week. 2 week got a bullish signal here on Bitcoin. That's worth following away. Here we are on the weekly. We got it a while back here on the weekly, and look how that's turned out. Not too bad. Not too shabby. There's a signs of tiredness, and I'm just only saying that because the VWAP is, she's curving over. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to these middle indicators, as if they're curving. And then we see money flow, she's coming down a little. Now that's the big one, remember? That's like, yeah, I don't want to see that happen. That needs to change. We need to talk about this. You need to increase your money flow. And hopefully with these other things going up, that should follow. But it needs to. Because if money's trickling out, that means that this move up is not going to be as strong. It's not probably going to be as real. And we're probably not going to get the effect that we expect to get from it if money flow is still trailing down like it has been since the first of the year, is what it says. Since December when they peaked out, she's been trailing. But she did level off, so you got to look at those things. This is just like any other little, I don't know, any kind of landscape that you would see there. She's got to level off and then start going back up again, right? But she is level, so that's the first step. If she's level, that's okay. It's like, maybe we can catch her breath here, and possibly so everything else going up, I would say, okay, let's see if she starts moving up again. That's how all these little oscillator figures worky. So one thing to know, let's see. So we did have a lower high. We also had a lower low here, and we would expect possibly a lower high on this guy. So we talked about that, drew a little trend line and get a little guesstimate. I guess you could figure out. I never really thought about it, but look, we're at the 786. So this guy might come up here to this area or this area and see that they don't always, look, where did you go to? Let's fib you out and see. I've never really played with the fibs over here. That'd be fun. Oh, no, that's what we would have to work with, darling. That would be how long. That would be. Ba-da-da-ba-da. You did something weird there. I don't know how to read, but you did okay. You did a 786. It got kind of weird on me. It got that didn't quite work out as I expected. That did not work. I feel like you're missing one here. I think no, that's the VWAP. Okay, well this kind of sucks. We could go from here to there. Oh, we're looking 1-1. So we still got some correspondence there. I can't get you though. That's weird. I can't get him. I can't find one to concentrate on this guy. Because, unless I want to do it in retrospect by going back to this guy. That's the only way that I can get him. And so, where's the 706? Yeah, you should have known that, but you couldn't know that because you wouldn't know this yet. So that doesn't work that way. So I can't get this guy. That's kind of weird. Anyway, sorry, that was a rabbit hole. You didn't need to go down that with me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you or anybody. I hope I didn't confuse anybody. Let's go to the chat and see if there's any kind of questions while I delete the 80% line. Now we talked about before I could do though, since we did have that 80% line, we talked about that being the sell, right? For stochastics. Getting below the 80%, that is your sell signal, and now it faked us out. That's what we were talking about. See, I'm weaving, and now we're weaving back. This is when she actually did give it up and then lose it, right? We'll be on the week. We still on the weekly, big ass time frames. When was this? May 23. Here she did not stochastics. She got rejected right below that. We'll take a look at that too. And then right over here where she actually did go below it, she started coming down and then actually crossed it right there. What'd that look like? On the candles. Oh, you sniped out, and then That's when she popped back up. We already looked at that. That's when she came down into this. Money flowing to green. Okay. That's a fake out. That was cool. So stochastics are resetting there, and then boom. So nice little top areas there. Can't bitch about that. Come on, market Cipher. So that's when it was crossing or getting rejected from that 80% area. Now, just like you got an 80% one up there, remember down here we had the 0 line, right? Well, there's a 20% area. And anything below this is considered oversold. I mean, if they sold too dang much, man, it's cheap. We need to stock up on this little SOB right here. And let's take a look at those. Let's move our lines over. I want to reuse these lines. Here is where they came down and stayed right here. And she probably could have even went down further as it kind of hung out here. Here is where she came and bounced. Make that one green. Let's go over here. I'm going to skip this one and come down here where she bounced. Right. There's no green dot. This is all before the green dot. All you'd see was VWAP that looked like it was trying to rise up a little bit. Momentum wave, you can tell. I don't know. It might be rounding, might not. All I know is money flow is going deeper and deeper, man. It looks gleam. It looks horrible. And the only thing was stochastics right there. That might be an interesting thing. Standout indicator right here. Let's see what happened in price action. She went flat. She didn't do a dang thing, but she was at the bottom. Ooh, goodness. Ooh, yeah, doggy. Look at that. She's been down there about 16,000. 16,000. Yes, Now that's what I'll be talking about, huh? Right down here. Right down here. They got it on the bottom there, dude. And then she been right up back up there. That she did sure did. Bouncing right on up there. Coming on down. And I'm not going to keep doing that. And then here where we kind of went flat a little bit on the ribbon, and we kind of went flat on the price too. But kind of a cool when you combine all these little indicators together. And the stochastics RSI, especially on bigger time frames, are very important. You're getting two things happening here on this lesson tonight. One, we're getting more familiar with market Cipher or VMC indicator, and then we're also going over some important things to look at to help you nail and help us all to nail these tops and bottoms, especially for the market. And doing it here on the weekly, paying attention to the monthly, but this is not the hardest part. This is not the hardest part. The hardest part's execution. Because you're not going to believe it at the time. But like on the weekly, when you look back in hindsight, it's clear, it's there. This was the best place to sell. This was one of the best places to buy. And so you're also learning the little things that can help you get that. And like I said earlier, also doing the RSI, remember this little guy, combining that, I took it off of the market Cipher because in the periods when she's deep on the big time frames, the weekly, the monthly, she's high up there. That means she's hot. She's ready to roll over. She might have already started. So look at the big time frame. What I'm trying to drop on, the big time frames can really help you with the market. And to keep that in mind, and we play Monday morning quarterback and come over here, and let's just draw a line from the chart. I'm not even looking at the indicators. I'm just drawing a line on the chart. And we'll mark that the best places here on the weekly. What were the indicators saying? I mean, we were still above the 9. Everything's fine on the 9 moving average. That wouldn't have nailed it. That would have helped. Losing that on the weekly, that's that's not so good. But you might take a little bit to confirm if you wanted to confirm, or you could look down to smaller time frames and get some other ideas. Trend line. Break the trend line. Now that's a few weeks after. Man, maybe we're going back to 68,000. We're just sitting here at 52 though. Oh man. Well, at least we ain't 30 yet. Don't know the yet's coming. So, what indicator would have helped? Would it have been MACD? What would you have said, MACD? MACD would have been I'm looking good, baby. I'm all in the blue. I'm leveling out a little bit, but I'm just all in the blue, and I'm spread apart on my please don't tell me that, MACD. She's got her prongs spread apart, wide open there, and just out exposing it to everybody. We wouldn't have had a clue that they were going to close up anytime soon. But here's stochastics. Now, we wouldn't have seen it there until the following week. We get that next candle. Let's go ahead and move you over. Let's cheat. Let's move. Move it over here. Oh, we have to go that far? Now, as that was happening, we might want to say, this looks interesting. All these things are starting to go past the 0 point. This is a pretty good indicator is what I'm trying to drive home, because it's telling you right in between where they're a little bit earlier than some of the others, especially the stochastics, and especially in this particular case, the stochastics, and then how this momentum wave is coming over. It wouldn't quite get your red dot until the next one, but that would have been the one. Definitely, you want to take profits there. By then, some of your other indicators would have caught on. MACD would have gave you the first pale bar, and RSI. Where are you, RSI? RSI would have confirmed, a break below that 70%. See, on RSI, it's 70% and 30%. On the stochastics RSI, it's 80% and 20%. So there's a little bit of a difference there between their overbought signals. That was its overbought signal here on the weekly. That's why RSI is worth paying attention to. And whatever RSI is doing. And right there where it peaked, the strategy we mentioned earlier was also right there where the stochastics peaked. And that's been one of the best indicators that I've found on these big time frames that come closest to helping you nail the very top and the very bottoms. And that's the things I was using to look around 18,000 to 15,000, right in that area. Use Fibonacci to actually nail that 15,600 area. Got an order filled. Don't have that exchange anymore, but that order was, it was filled. It's documented. I had the target there. I'm waiting for you. Come here, give me. You put these little ideas together, and it makes you. It helps you be a lot more accurate, and apparently, maybe even see things that other people don't see. Because a lot of the analysts I see out there, they do see most of what I see. We see a lot of the same things, but then there's sometimes some analysts, they don't. There's some things that they don't see at all. Like you don't see that might be coming. We're bullish to the upside, and sometimes that amazes me. And so sometimes I would wonder, well, is it because of certain? I mean, is it these certain little things? But the most little golden nugget that I think you can get out of here tonight really is the RSI and the stochastics RSI strategy when they're at the tops, when they are peaked. And you may not catch it exactly when they do it, but if you're watching, as that plays out over the next day, as this thing progresses, you will start seeing that. And you will definitely start seeing it probably on the lower time frame. Where are you? Did you have different lines here? Are we on something different here? What happened? Oh, I feel lost now. We go back to the weekly. Oh, okay, those 2021, right? Well, you're way back here. No wonder we feel lost. We were lost. We're way back here. So we went from the weekly, and then on the 3-day, what would it look like there? For those same things, getting a lot of it now. Here you're falling on the 3-day. It would have helped you nailed it right here. Let's move that over to right there, and then look where you are on the RSI. Should also be at the top. So you're following the ideas, and between the big ones and the small and the ones beneath it, grouping those little guys together a little bit. This is why you will see me walk down from, if I do a monthly, I don't do monthlies too much. Monthly, 2 week, mostly weekly, the 3-day, daily, and I'm walking those. Then I like to get the mid one somewhere around the 4 hour. 8 hour, 4 hours, somewhere through there, even 1 hour in that time frame. And then a smaller little group that I look for, 15 minute, 6 minute, 1 minute, group those together. And I got 3 little sections that kind of help me time frame wise to kind of navigate short term, medium, and the big overall theme of the momentum behind this steamroller that we got going. Is it slowing up? Is it getting faster? What the big ones are going to tell you a lot better than the smaller ones will. You can get the nitty gritty from the smaller ones, but the direction of where we're going is all in those bigger time frames. So it's very important to pay them, and sometimes you have to play them off each other to figure it out. The turtle's moving too slow, man, so you got to come over to the gnat that ain't. Oh, that's a terrible analogy. So you got to come over to the one that's just a little bit faster, and it kind of it's hanging around. It's being influenced by it. See what it says. I have messed up all my. I put all these lines on here. All these lines down here. All right, guys. Well, it is 9 o'clock. We've been going for an hour. That's pretty good, I think, to cover everything. We take the fibs off. Don't trip people out. But I think we pretty much covered the whole indicator. Even the stochastics that I don't have on there. Let me take these lines off that don't belong there. Let me come over to the chat and see if they've got any other questions over here. Word PC guy says, learning that stochastic RSI is not a direct buy signal. Cost me about 100 at first. Oh yeah, that's a common thing when you see indicators, but yeah, I mean, I went through that too, thinking I'll just buy when it says buy and sell, and I've even tried it out, and then I had bots that would do exactly what you tell them to do. That was the problem. If you didn't know exactly what to tell them to do and why, you felt kind of lost a lot. I felt kind of lost a lot with those bots. It took me a while to get a hang of that. And how you layer them so that they won't. But if you don't know any better, you put that parameter in, they're going to buy every little signal. Wow, buy it, sell it, buy it, signal, sell it. And I had it do it on that 200 1 minute moving average strategy, where it buys when price goes above it, sells when price goes below it. And I would tell you, and that is a break-even strategy at best. You're when you put some other parameters where it will skip over a few of those, lengthen it, whether it's like jump into a different time frame or just make sure that the stochastics RSI are at one level or at another before you buy or sell. Even just adding that one parameter will make it better. But if you're just blindly jumping in and out as soon as price gets to a 200 moving average, that's just blind, because it does it a lot. It's like a little zigzag, like a little Geiger counter, and then maybe you'll get away from it for a little while, and then it will consolidate again. So it will chop you up, is what I'm trying to say, and that's why it's not the greatest strategy. It's good at times if you know that, and that's why you need other parameters, and that's why it's good to kind of pair up indicators together to use. Looks like that turkey is growing hairs instead of feathers. I know, it needs a shave. Turkey needs a shave. Weird Marshmallow said, "This is good. I knew a little, but not like now. Thank you." Okay, cool. So we got some alpha out there. The thing is, the longer you're in crypto and you learn this stuff, and it takes a while. It takes a while to find it. It takes a while to absorb it, and then it takes a while to put it into practice and experience it. And then as that happens, and you're talking to somebody else, you take for granted what you've had to learn to explain to them, and you try to remember where you struggled and what didn't make sense and everything. But there's a lot that that as you get good at this, you just spit out there and you think everybody understands what you're talking about, but they don't. You're like, what? Why is he talking in fib numbers? What is a fib number even? It just all depends on where it comes from. I try to keep that in mind, but sometimes we'll get into the jargon, and if there's not jargon, we'll make up our own. Apparently. Oh my gosh, we got a fan funding. I almost missed that. Thank you, Ryan K. I appreciate that very much. Ooh, we got hand clappies working on the screen. Yay! Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm 100% fan funded. All right. Yes. All right. I missed it all. I can rewatch. You sure can. Love this video. I'll take all the lessons on hidden divergences I can get. We'll try to focus on that. We'll try to focus on that one next time, the divergences. That's a good one. So I've been at work since 5 a.m. Just got home. Be like Pete. Oh, man. Take a breather, baby. Take a breather. I'm going to have to get off of here too. That lasted pretty much perfect. Okay, so I don't see any major questions, but if you guys ever have any questions about it, and this is a cool indicator, I showed you where to get the free one and where to get the paid one, to be fair. Just on this video or whatever on the stream, in the actual comments where you have to come, you know, not in the chat, but in the comments, if you can post them there, I will see them. Anything that's in the chat, I probably will never get to see again. That's actually probably the best way. And there could be some other dialogue, other people posting questions there too. If we put it in Telegram group, I might remember, that I might forget. Man, weekly for Bitcoin looks pretty good here. That looks pretty good, and it's kind of taking me back a little bit, because once it starts happening, it's like it feels different when you can forecast and see this is what we need to do, this is what we should be trying to work on, and then when it actually happens, it's like, oh crap, it's happening now. And the same thing when we were going down. That's what I'm remembering now. I'm like, oh, you said, yeah, that's all right. We'll walk it off. We can handle it. It's not big. We won't get. Oh crap, we're going down now. Oh, we're doing it now. Ooh, this is just. Ooh, that's a little more painful. That didn't feel good. That's a little bit more painful than I expect. You know, when you get down in the nitty gritty, it's like. And now I'm thinking, well, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, wait till it goes up there, and I'm going to start selling. And now you're like. It's going to keep going. I don't want to have anything to sell if I keep selling. So you got all these little things that are going on. It is crazy, but I think it's always good to write down or note or document somehow what you're thinking and what you're feeling down here and what you're planning. And then you'll notice that as ever the market starts getting bullish, well, you start getting a little bit more bullish too. Everybody's getting a little bit bullish. I'm not going to be too bullish. No. But you're bullish just enough that it might mess you up though. So we got to be, we've got to be cautious and know that there's going to be a top coming. Now, that's kind of crazy. I should be saving this for tonight though. When we do zoom out, I mean, it does, when it wants to go for a new top, she does do pretty good going for a new top, whether it's just a little bit of one or even these guys down here. I mean, they're pretty good. Unless you get that little double one, it's just a little bit higher, kind of like what we did over there too. But this top and that was nice, and this sucked. But this was, wow, that was kind of crazy. Are we going to get something kind of crazy again is what I'm wondering. Will it go straight up and do something like that? It should, because, you know, in the short term, we're looking like we're kind of used to all the little zigzags, looking for it to come down here, and then we go up here, and then we come down here. And, you know, if we are behind, if we're catching up, this is what's, because we don't know. And that was the sickening part back here. You didn't really know. You didn't know. You knew up was coming, but you didn't know that it was up, jump, then up again. It's like you didn't know it was going to be so. It's like, I know we're going up a little bit. Yeah, because we just came from here, man. Yeah, we can do that. We'd probably go a little bit more. Oh, crap. She's still going. She's still going. I'm running out of Bitcoin to sell. I don't know. I just shorted. Oh my God, my short stopped out. 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 Sound like Crypto Savvy last time. Oh my God, my short stopped out. I'm still feeding my short. And then, you know, we finally get up here. What? It's a crazy run and a lot of crazy feelings going right there. And it's a lot of crazy feelings before it happens, and there is that feeling of disbelief. And I'm having to sit here and make sure and trying to check myself and like, am I in disbelief? Because maybe I am, or maybe I'm just being cautious and going by our traditional rules of resistance. That's what I'm trying to do, keep it all tame there. But as she goes up, I'm like, wow, man, this is you start entertaining some of those bullish thoughts, right? Those like, oh, we're good. Yeah, maybe 114,000 even. Yeah. And you know, they look, okay, we might have war over here. We got all this tariff stuff here. They're scared as crap over here. Any little thing could set off, any little bad word, any little thing that Congress could just, you know, tank this house of cards on Bitcoin or especially crypto. And so I got to keep it within reason too. But there will be this point that it will take off, and it will feel like it's taken off without us. And so if we, you know, there would be chances to get in when that happens, but it sucks, and we're at resistance right now. All right, guys, I got to get ready for tonight's stream. I didn't mean to get off on a rant, but that's just what I do. Let me go to the end screen there. 8 people hanging out. I think we even got more. I'll see you guys on the nightly stream. That'll be my 3rd stream today. That's crazy. That'll be about 10:30. See you guys. Go to the end screen. Sean, there's a dog on the screen. There we go.
Well, I've got to trade tonight. Ooh, yeah. Asia's moon is burning bright. Hey, one more dip across the sea. Crypto's pull won't let me be. Yeah, I'm a midnight trader. Ooh, can't sleep till I stack my gains. Yeah, running charts against the dawn. Ooh, midnight trader on my own.
What's wrong, Sean? Elvis, he peed on the dog again. What? He peed on the dog? How'd he pee on the dog? Well, she's just sleeping outside by the steps, and he just wanked her out and just started peeing off the side of the porch there. You know we have bathrooms, right? He just likes to wank it out, and like you and your fibs, he just pulls it out wherever, but the dog happened to be there. Well, she got her bath early.
See you later.